Hello and welcome back to Printing's Alive, the podcast that we talk anything print. Today, as always, special guest, but this guest is really special. Why? Because she buys print. She doesn't sell print. She has nothing to do with that. She's on the other side. So today we have Sherri Langburt, the founder and CEO of BabbleBoxx. That's BabbleBoxx, correct? .com. She's a one-of-a-kind influencer marketing platform that blends storytelling, product discovery, good old-fashioned packaging to create unforgettable brand moments. Sherri's built a business that proves physical experiences, yes, print and packaging included, still matter in the digital world. Her curated boxes have featured everything from big name brands to unique niche products delivered directly to influencers who know how to spark attention. We're going to dive into BabbleBoxx's works, the role of packaging, presentation, how it drives engagement, how brands can stand out, and what printers should know if they want to connect with marketers at scale. I think everything's gone digital. If you think everything's gone digital, think again. Sherri's going to remind us why what's in the box still matters. Welcome, Sherri. How you doing? Pleasure's mine. So BabbleBoxx is 17 years old now. Okay. I was still going to say that you don't look that old, so that's good. Tell us a little bit about BabbleBoxx for those listening. Cool. Explain to me influencer first. What is a influencer? I mean, I only see people on TikTok or on stream, but is there more mini influencers, big influencers? I don't know, categories of them. Sounds pretty simple. So when you started with the boxes, what problem, what were you solving for the brands?
Do this for many years, not boxes, right? Just regular influencer campaigns, and there's ebbs and flows. And still in 2000, believe it or not, 15 brands were still saying, "Oh, it's too expensive," or "I don't have budget," or "We don't do this," or there were so many reasons why they weren't doing it. I wanted to create something that was going to make it more cost effective for them to do. And the first box we did was a collab. So we came up with the idea of putting multiple brands in a themed box, and it was a beauty box. So we also played on the whole craze or trend that was happening back then, which was the subscription boxes. There was Ipsy and Birchbox and BarkBox. We made it look like a big subscription box with real size products so that it would make people think like, what's this new subscription box? But it was really a joint media buy so that 5 brands could pool their ad dollars, test influencer, and see if they like it.
Oh, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Well, I still like the fact that you use boxes, right?
There you go.
The boxes aren't just full of products, they tell stories, right? So how important is the physical packaging that you're producing, that you're sending out?
So I think right after we started, within month 1 of us doing our BabbleBoxx, which is branded as a BabbleBoxx, which is the multi-brand, a few brands came to us and said, "Wait, how did you figure this out? Could you do custom kits?" And so that's when it was like, can you design? And the challenge there is that yes, people could do kits, but they're going to 20 different vendors. They need a designer. They need someone to print it. They need someone to fulfill it. They need packaging. They need merch. We do all of that. So the story is about the entire experience. It's about telling a story. And it's the box. When we say a box, it doesn't just have to be, a box, right? It could be a box that turns into something. It could, for Quaker kids, it was a whole coloring book was the box.
Cool.
We did a 529 box, which is college savings, and it was like the box turned into a piggy bank. So, the box, you could do a box that's a fridge, and that's not necessarily printing,
Right.
but the exterior would be. So there's a lot of different ways in which we tell a story, and particularly, there's easier to implement brands, and then you have brands that are service brands or they don't have a product. How do you turn that into a story? So that's where the box becomes the story. The merch in the box helps share the story, and it also gives something visual for influencers to share, because if you don't have a product, what are you putting on social? And that's a big challenge for a lot of brands.
Wow, that's pretty cool. It's,
Fun.
so when you're designing, is it the designer or the creative that comes up with the type of box, or does the print company or packaging company come in with you and offer up solutions and ideas?
We do everything. So our team does all the creative and the concepting. And then a lot of times we're going to different printers for different things. Like right now we have to do like a very challenging rounded box. And, we have to go to different people to see who could do it. One time a company asked us to do a lemon. Now we went to different printers to do a lemon. We went to molds, there's different ways to do it. So it's always, we're coming up with the concepts, and then we come out with who could do this and what's going to look the best and what's the most cost effective.
How'd you do the lemon?
We didn't, because it was put on pause.
It's probably too expensive also.
It was too expensive.
Because there you probably use a plastic clamshell of some sort, right? Because you can't take a box and make it a lemon.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. But when you're doing the boxes, are they just straight print, or do you use any finishes on them, or tactile finishes where they're feeling, or raised UV foils?
We've done, like we did for Phil Mickelson. He has a vitamin brand, so there was like a golf. What's this? The AstroTurf was the bottom. And there was a little putting thing where they could putt, and there was a widget that when you open the thing, the flag went up, the golf flag.
Yeah, obviously you're not a golfer. By the way, I'm a fisherman, so I know
I'm a kayaker.
You're okay. You're a water person.
I just took my first few golf lessons, but yeah. So that was one we've done for Wakanda Forever. It was all like there was noise and voice, and when you open the box, it spoke, and there was lights, and then it was finished in oh my god, I'm losing my words. Like it had like brushed gold finish. So there's always different stuff that
Cool. And do all the printers companies you call on, do you find that they have all the capabilities that you need, or you do a lot of searching?
Every project is different. So for standard stuff, we'll go to the same people because we trust them. We built relationships. We love them. But sometimes we'll go to them and they're like, we can't do this. And then we have to find specialty printers.
Are you buying cheapest price when you're buying?
We try to be cheapest, but also we want to be good to our partners. So if someone's not that far off, we're going to try to work with them, tell them what someone else's price is. But sometimes, it really depends on the project and quality.
Yeah, I'm only asking because I'm a believer of it's not about the lowest price; it's about getting it done right, on time,
quality, on time. Right. Who do you trust? Who do you know is going to deliver? When we had one printer that something happened, and he lives probably 4 hours, and he drove here at 4 a.m. to get here by our deadline to bring us the box.
You want to give him a plug? Because that's good. You don't have to, but I'm just, I'm always there to promote the print guy out there, or print girl.
Amazing.
Okay. No, there's
two that I could give a plug to, and they're both wonderful.
I remember we had a salesman at my company where we had one customer that was always late, and we were hand delivering him his stuff at the airport in line while he was getting his ticket to go to like a magic show or something for clothing in Vegas, right?
Well, that's it. That's so it's like, yes, price matters, but also who do you have those relationships? And the relationships are the relationships because of timeliness and because of quality and care.
So for everybody listening, what I just heard was, price, but that went down very quickly, and it came back to who's going to do what needs to be done, deliver on time, and make things right for the client. So for all you people trying to sell the lowest price, don't. It's not going to help you. Get it there on time. Right? That better?
Quality, on time, caring.
Agreed. Brands, do they underestimate the power of physical touch points when everyone's focused on digital?
So, I am going to say this, that I always say a box has 100% open rate, right? We look at open rates in email and a box. Everyone's going to open a box. And that's what we see. So I think that tactical, physical, not only does it help create a stage to build a story for the influencer, but it's something fun and unique. And if it's done properly, I think that there is some kind of argument to be made that people are just sending out swag in boxes with no theme or thought going in just to get them out there. But I think it has to be done properly. And I don't think every campaign we do deserves a box. And I tell people, this doesn't need a box. You don't need to do a box. This could be you're on something else, influencer.
So what requires a box and what doesn't require a box?
Well, first of all, a box is a lot more moving parts. So I would say if you have a new product launch or you're coming out with a rebrand or a refresh or there's something exciting happening. I think there's a lot of retail promotions that you don't need a box for. It could be like, let's get the influencers to retail. And I think it's a case by case basis. And can the box be used for other purposes? A big thing that we see, as I said, we do everything influencer, but when we do these kits, companies are using them for like sales kits to send to buyers. They're using them for promos, loyalty programs. They're using them internally for HR, to send to partners, for gifting. Thinking about, I always say this, like, why isn't anyone thinking about the omni, like integrated, like where else can this be used? And if you're using it for influencer, you should leverage it to use it for other things. And those other things might not even be marketing related.
And I guess once you're producing, what's a few more to have?
Right.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm all for boxes for everything. Everything should come in a box.
Or a cylinder. But we'll call that.
No. Printed box. I gotta draw the line. I gotta draw the line somewhere and protect my peeps. Printed box.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. We'll still let you continue. In terms of influencing, what's changed in influencer marketing in the last 5 years, and what do brands still get wrong, do you think?
I mean, I think that obviously TikTok is the big one, right? I don't think we were 2019 and a half. I mean, TikTok wasn't where it really started to boom during the pandemic. So I think there's TikTok. I think there's TikTok Shop. I think brands overlook. I think they all want to be the hero on a certain platform. And just because TikTok is where it's at doesn't mean it's where your brand should be at. There might be brands that still work on Facebook. There might be a lot of brands crush it on Pinterest.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, pinning is like the happy place. There's no negativity.
So I'm gonna ask a question. I don't want anyone to think I'm off my rocker, but like, is Pinterest like a woman's platform, or is it mixed?
So. It's mixed, but I think it's a happy place. There's no hate, which is really good, and it's a lot of home recipe, decor, like that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And it works really, really well. It works for food, for home, anything decor related, design related. Yeah.
I mean, I was on there looking for some tattoo ideas for fish, but as a rule, I don't even think to go on it.
It's a good platform. So there's just the things that people aren't getting right is like they're kind of trying to go where cool kids are, and you got to stay in your lane and know what's working, test new things, but I don't think you just have to be somewhere just because everyone's at. Sometimes people forget something, and that's where you could, Reddit. I mean, people are thriving on being on Reddit.
So if I came to you from a packaging company, what would you suggest or recommend that I do?
So that's different. It's B2B, right? And we just had this happen. It's B2B. So, the thought is, can you find people on LinkedIn that are experts. It's a different type of person. It's not necessarily, it's more like a subject, you're a subject matter expert, about printing. So it's B2B. Could you find people in the B2B category? And there's certainly, as I said when we started, there's tons of people. We just had an ask, someone not with printing, but packaging, and they wanted, people who know product management, creative designers, directors who do packaging. And so there, believe it or not, on these platforms, you could find specific product engineers, printing engineers, and you just have to kind of do a lot of research. So you might be fewer people, but more niche. They might be smaller. They might not be as big as some of the bigger influencers, but there's ways to mitigate that. As long as you have the content done, you could also boost and whitelist the influencer's content to reach people you want to hit, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. Micro and nano influencers. I'm only hearing that like for the first time. To me, I just knew of influencer as an influencer. Now they're breaking it down into different. What value do they bring, or what do they do, or who are they, and what's the deal?
There's all different sizes. So the nanos are the small ones, the micros are the mid tier, then it goes to macro, mega, and celebrity. When you get above a micro, they have a bigger audience, right? They have over 100,000, 250,000, all the way into the millions. And so as the bigger their audience, you're getting a reach, you're getting a lot of reach, but they lose touch and connection with their audience. So the engagements, the likes, the loves, the shares, the saves go down. So if you want to go big, again, the challenge is when you work with a bigger one, most of your money is going to go to one person. And so to me, if you could work with 50 or 25 or even 10 smaller ones, but their traffic or their reach adds up to the bigger one, the beauty of that is that you're getting all different pieces of content from 10 different people or 20 different people versus spending all your budget on one person. Not only are you getting all different kinds of pieces of content, their audiences are all different. So you could, have one person who's a mom and one person who's a fisherman and one person who's a kayaker, and they're all posting about your brand to different audiences, different regions, different locations, as opposed to investing all your dollars in one person.
Cool. And so you mentioned the smaller ones might be more engaged with their audience.
Mm-hmm.
So does that
the smaller ones, it's like they just have more of a connection because they're still relatable. They haven't kind of gotten so big. They still take the time to write to every person who's posting. They're just more niche. So the engagement rates tend to be higher. And that's not to say macros and megas don't work. I think that they have a purpose, but sometimes, budget wise, it's very hard.
So important question. I'm sure that all my listeners, all like 11 of them, want to know, how do you measure the ROI of a brand campaign that includes the unboxing experience?
So we just had a call yesterday. When you look at influencer content, right, they're creating the content from scratch. And so we look at everything from their reach to every variable, how many comments they got, how many likes, how many shares, how many saves. And there's formulas to look at ROI. So when we do a campaign, we're going to look at the cost for their engagement rate first and foremost on those variables. Then we're going to look at the cost per engagement. You could look at sales and conversions, but you could also look at earned, like the incremental performance of what they did, what the value of the media on that engagement rate was. We're looking at all different variables. Sales is the number one, but sometimes if it's an awareness play, there is no sales metric, right? So it's like, how do we value this? It's the same as PR. We're valuing it based on the value of that reach that we got and that engagement. Because technically, yes, you reached all these people, but we're looking at actions. Like the comment is an action, the save is an action, and then we measure that and say this is what the value is.
And how would you measure the sales? Or they would just base it on a time period, or the link?
The link, yeah.
I don't know if you can answer the question, but like, what do campaigns cost? Or actually, no, let me rephrase that. Can you give me an idea of a budget? This way, nobody holds you to anything I'm going to say. From a small campaign, what's entailed with micro or nanos versus mid-size?
So every campaign is different, every company is different. And I think what is unique to us is we don't have minimums or retainers. We work on a project basis within your budget. That said, we've also developed solutions that, like the co-op that I talked about at the beginning, that was designed so it's more affordable. So we're not saying, oh, to work with us, you need to spend $200 million. We're saying we could work with you and it's a co-op and it's multi-brand, but it's less expensive. I would say that most companies, when they start, they're kind of looking at a $15,000 to $20,000 campaign. It's usually with micros, so not the tiny ones. The micros have 20 to 100,000 followers, and that's a starting point. And those micros are usually right now activated on Instagram and TikTok, and we guarantee that they're going to post videos or reels or carousels, whichever the brand wants, share on both channels and do some stories, which are, kind of the fleeting ones that go away. But that's really a starting point. We do have a lot of companies now. You all right?
Wait, you have to hang on. I just lost my microphone.
Oh.
Okay, so we have to do a small edit there. If you want to go back to that.
Where was I going?
I don't know.
Did I just start from the beginning with the pricing?
Yeah, you could do that. I just sat on my thing and your voice went gone.
All right. Okay, I'll start again.
Okay.
All right. In terms of pricing, I think what's unique about us is, we don't have minimums or retainers. We work on a project basis. I think there's a lot of players out there that'll say, oh, you need $50,000 to $100,000 to work with us. We don't. We work with all different size brands. We also have a solution set that meets you where you are in your journey. So for smaller brands, we have campaigns that could be $10,000 or $5,000 and then all the way up. Most brands, when you're talking brand dedicated, not our co-op, they're starting with a $15,000 to $25,000 kind of start. Those are usually micro influencers, and those micro influencers are usually doing, kind of multi-channel Instagram and TikTok because that's where everyone wants to be. It's not all of our campaigns, and it's usually video shared to both platforms along with some story. And then we build in, like, we know how many impressions they're going to get. We know, everything, and we build it out.
And how do you pick the influencers?
It's based on what you want. So that's where there's a human element. Like, we have our own tools, we build our own platforms, but we have a full account management team who's doing all the research, finding the influencers and vetting them. Even though we use tools and even though AI may recommend these 10 people, we still build the list based on human touch and going in and researching and looking at everything and double checking it. We're cherry picking every influencer.
And do the influencer you use generally work out? Like what percentage works out and what percentage of them are duds?
Listen, I think they all work out in the sense there are situations where, someone got sick, or we do a new mom and baby box and it's like the woman went into labor, a month early. Oh, you're frozen.
No, you went again.
So I think fingers crossed, most of the time they work out. There are situations that are, influencers are still people. And I'll give you the best example. We have a new mom and baby box, and it's moms who are either have a baby under a year old or who are pregnant. So there's situations where the mom went into labor and she's like, I'm going to be late posting because I'm in the hospital. And these moms are writing us while so they try their best. And, I think, performance wise, there's always going to be some people who do a better video, right? Just like there's people who are better in anything. But I think they all put in their best effort.
Because I had a feed of influencers on one of my social medias running, and I was just cracking up every time because you see them out there and they're doing funny things or stupid things, or and you just kind of shake your head.
But for the food ones, it's like these people are just so we have ones where they're doodling, and it's like the amount of talent that rises up is unbelievable with these platforms.
How many influencers are there out there? Is there like an industry association for them, or?
There's billions of them probably at this point, millions, I don't know. Back in the day, you would say, how many influencers are in your network? And that's become an obsolete thing because the truth is just go on TikTok and search for anyone you want and find your influence.
Wow, pretty cool. What type of companies or industries get the most value from a BabbleBoxx, all right? And who needs to pay more attention?
I would say that I don't know if it's more value. I think they are paying more attention. I think it's the food companies get a lot of value. Recipe content performs. I think obviously the beauty companies are, crushing it. They led the way. Um, I think we do a lot with health wellness, a lot with entertainment, pets. I mean, who doesn't want to click on a cute pet? So, but what I'm seeing now is like things that you would never think of. Like we're doing a ton with education, the colleges. We do a ton with government. Like,
Uh,
yeah,
what government?
lotto is government. So we do
Okay.
lotto campaigns. But wait, we do get insurance through the government or healthcare or like these public service announcements, like to help, you know, um, different communities that need, compromised communities. PSAs, like these announcements, like we're here to help. So there's a lot in government. There's a lot of places that I don't think people realize that, I meet people who are like, you could do influencer in that. Yeah.
Well, I think you could do it anywhere there's a phone or an address that you could send something to.
You don't even need to send them. You just tell them they could do an interview with you. And
Right. Well,
there's
I'm
an
thinking just the box. I'm
the
always
box.
thinking boxes,
I
boxes.
know.
I don't
I
care
know.
about the other stuff. I just want to know about your boxes. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. It's good to learn. No, this is all pretty cool because I think it's what most people don't know. We just get the tail end of it or the part that the influencer's showing us. How long does it take to put a box or program or creative together if a company's thinking about doing it realistically?
So we normally have a 2-month lead time just because people have approvals and printing and we've done them in 2 weeks. Uh,
That's pushing it though.
we've done it a bunch of times in 2 weeks, but it's not the printing, it's the approvals and the creative and just the amount it takes. So usually we do them in 6 weeks.
Yeah, and then you go and you give the print person grief and attitude at the end because you waited for everybody else and it's all on them to get it out. And you
Yeah.
want it at the cheapest price to boot. So that's a problem unto itself, right?
I said I didn't want the cheapest. I said I wanted the best quality and the fastest.
No, I know. Just give you a chance to say that again and reiterate it, right? What makes a box stick? What makes somebody want to open a box more than another box? Because in the world of print, we have direct mail. I'm sure when you get envelopes at home, excuse me, without your name on it, just fluff it. But anything that has your name on it, you're opening it.
So I think I learned this from someone that you might know. His name is Andrew Small, and it's all about the
Mm.
personalization and building the story and the personalization, and every little detail has to kind of be part of the story. So just sending a box to send a box, which I think a lot of people sadly are doing right now. Um, the box has to tell a story, the items have to tell a story, the people selected receiving it have to understand why they're getting it, and it has to be personalized.
So for people, excuse me, for people that are listening, um, the person that she referenced is a brand creative designer. And he's the one who said everything should be on the box. Everything has a purpose. So if you're listening, the cheap, plain, flat boxes, stop trying to sell those. Try to upsell anything with embellishment or tactics, something that you could touch or haptic or whatever, all those other words that are just getting stuck in my mouth. But you're hearing it from the creative designer. You're now hearing it from the person in the middle who's dealing with the customer. So when you're dealing with your customers, high value, high selling, right? And then what do we know from? There's a lot of reports out there about embellishments and the fancy bling on packaging that says it walks off the shelf quicker versus something that doesn't have it. So I would
Yeah.
assume they get a
So
nice
when you
box, they'll keep it around longer than one that's not. And if you're getting boxes that are more embellished, I think you're also thinking what's in the box has more value.
also though, when you talk about digital, it's like the QR codes, anything digital that could go in and around that can tie the physical to the digital helps too.
So pick something and give me an idea, like the whole box. I want to
Pick one.
know how the box starts. Pick a company if you want, or an industry. I want to know what goes in the box.
Okay, I'm gonna make a fake one. It's kind of real. We did it, but it wasn't a
Well, so
box.
change the name of the person you're talking
Say an
about, right?
insurance company comes to us and they say, okay, we want to get moms who just had a baby, right? Because life insurance makes sense. But oh, we're so boring. We're insurance and we have a challenge. What is the mom like? Is she going to just talk? You need insurance? Like, how fun is that? It's not fun. And it's not, part of it is yes, they have to get that informational and the educational component. Why is it important to get life insurance? But they wanted to not be a stodgy insurance brand, but they didn't have anything. So yes, you create a box and the box could be fun. What's in the box? We created a onesie that instead it insure your love and all different cute things for the baby. So now, and the mom. So now when the mom does her campaign, there's a beautiful box, and you could call it like a layette box or whatever it is, but she's getting the gift for her. It's opening, maybe there's instructions for the mom or best wishes for the mom. There's cue cards for the mom with little tips. It's addressed to the specific mom, and then within it, the onesie is just so perfect because now the baby, and I know you don't do merch, but the baby is in a branded onesie that says ensure your love, that has the brand name and recognition. And all the while she's talking about why it's so important as a new mom to get like.
And do you know if the baby is a boy or a girl in
Well, a onesie's a
advance?
onesie.
Well, no, there's girl onesies and there's boy
But we did them in
onesies.
white. We did them in white, and the
Okay,
logo.
well, you make it like I asked such a bad question. It wasn't
No,
so
no, no, no.
bad.
We did them in white.
Okay, so that was good. Just that was cool. And how many would an insurance company do? I mean, there's tons of babies being born.
So again, when it's influencers, it's a media buy because if each influencer has
Right.
100,000 followers, you get 10, you're at 1 million. It depends on what their budget is. They did 30.
Cool. And I guess there's no way to follow up with that then, I guess.
What do you mean?
How do you follow up on, well, you're giving the influencer out there talking and whatever they're doing on their videos. How do you follow up with the end people or the potential
So there is
customers?
something that you could do. There's post-campaign surveys where you could send the influencer surveys. There's ways that the influencer could do a giveaway, join the gift, not for insurance. I don't think. Maybe you could do a giveaway of the box, but we do a lot of giveaways where it's enter your address or your email. So there's different ways to do it. And then the other flip side is how do you follow up? A lot of times what we see is when an influencer just posts once, it's great. But we're seeing more and more brands saying we want these same influencers, quarterly or to reinforce the message. Like we want to repeat influencers every month or every second month or during key periods so that it's not new influencers every time. It's the same influencer. We love them and we want to reinforce the message.
Yeah, I mean, like direct mail, you need consistency, right? The one shot is not going to guarantee you anything. The first
Yeah.
shot, probably just the lead in, and some people are attracted to it and others are saying, we'll see what happens next time. And then the second time you see the momentum going.
Yeah.
I tell people who want to do personalization or direct mail, if you're going to do it once, chances are you're going to fail because most people just look and go, but when it comes
Right.
again, and then I think also even direct mail, when you send something nicer, even though when it has their name on it, it'll sit on the desk, the counter, something a little longer than if it didn't, right?
Yeah.
Even if you're throwing it out, but you don't want to throw it out right away because it just looks so nice. So you kind of keep it. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. How would a printing packaging company go about using BabbleBoxx? And what do you think they could possibly do?
Again, I think that it's about finding the right influencers, and those would be more those industry specific people. But I think there's a lot of creative ways because I think anyone could do a campaign with a box. And so, or printing. And so I think it's about what is the message? Again, I think boxes are one thing. Maybe I'm overstepping, but it's printing and packaging is more than just the boxes, right? So it's finding the right influencers, finding the right story, and coming up with like what the campaign goals are and the strategy, and then finding the right influencer.
Wow. Okay. Do you ever do mail campaigns with the influencer? Or are influencers just the scrolling on your phone and the Instagram and the TikTok?
You mean them shipping out the boxes?
Or something like them shipping it or you shipping it to their list?
Yeah, so usually that's when we'll do a giveaway, because if not, it could get out of control, right? So if 10 influencers and all of a sudden you're hitting 10 million people, what if, like, great problem to have, but you could technically have a lot of people signing up for something. So we usually control it by doing a giveaway where whatever number of influencers are talking about this product and showing the box, and then they say, join a giveaway or get a sample. If it's samples and it's tiny, the company says we only have 2,000 samples or 4,000 samples, fine. If it's the bigger box, it's usually capped at like 500.
And it's the first 500 people to reach out and then they get it. Pretty interesting. What's the craziest or most surprising thing you've ever put in a box?
I don't know if it's in a box. I think we did one where it was a life-size box, and we normally, to do one box is just a lot of work, and it's not like we have minimums, but it's like, oh, we're doing one box, that makes no sense. But it was a life-size box for Mr. Beast.
Oh, no kidding.
But it was for a toy company. It wasn't for him. It was a toy company that was doing something with him. And yeah.
That's pretty good. He's got a pretty good reach for.
It was before he was like, it was.
Oh, it was before. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. But what were the items in the box?
There was nothing. They were
just
putting the toys in. They just needed a life-size box.
Okay, but what's the craziest thing that you've ever put in a box? I don't want an empty box. I want to know.
Okay, so the craziest thing is we package frozen foods and we send dry ice boxes to 300 influencers. Like we do frozen foods. It's crazy. It's a lot of work and there's a lot of regulations around it.
Is that just ordering food online from somebody and it comes in, or you have to be handled differently because you're.
Oh, dry ice. There's all kinds of, yeah. So we do that for only a few clients, but they're big clients, and yeah.
Well, what's the most creative use of packaging that you've seen?
I mean, I think the oversized stuff is amazing now. Just these big, not necessarily just a box, but like more, these kind of very glossy, beautiful, oversized, life-size packaging. Yeah.
Cool. Where do you see the influencer market going?
I think that, influencers are becoming their own. I think there's attrition. Some of them do it, get tired. It's a lot, and it's a lot of work, and I don't think people appreciate it. But I think the ones that stay the course they're doing more things, right? They have product lines, they become experts, they become their own business entity, and I think those are the ones that do on the macro side, I think.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been called a print influencer, but I wouldn't say anybody's ever paid me a whole lot of money to promote anything.
These are the people we need, because it's not just this B2C. It's like so many companies come and say we need B2B people who we can find, and it's very hard to find them.
Is it? I think there's just so many people out there, no?
I don't know if they're influencers. They might just be experts in their field, but it's not like I could go on LinkedIn and say, hey, I'm going to pay you to talk about this product. A lot of people, if they're working at a company, they can't, right? It's conflict of interest. So you have to find those independents, and it's not easy.
Well, I could talk about anything you want me to talk about at any time for any price you want to negotiate, because I'm easy. I'm just not cheap, but I'm easy.
Okay.
Right?
Well, we'll keep you in mind for the next beauty campaign.
Oh, that'd be good. No hair products though; those don't really go so well. It's pretty funny. What's the biggest project you've worked on? Like, how far do people take these influencers, or how far do they want to reach?
I think probably one of the biggest was GLAAD. All the gay pride festivals were put on hold in 2020. And they were like, what do we do? And so we're like, let's do Pride in a Box. And so they went and found all their sponsors. So there was like nail polish and books and
whatever. Yeah.
Everything was in there, but it wasn't just an influencer campaign. It was like they gave boxes out to anyone who became a member during that time of the organization and anyone who made a donation. So it was just a lot of products in the box because everyone wanted to support because all the Pride festivals were canceled. So it was like, let's do Pride in a box. So every one of their sponsors wanted to be in this box. It was a lot. And then there was a lot of touch points because it wasn't just influencer, it was all these different people receiving the box. We have a lot of brands now saying, okay, we have like, it's almost like a value added reseller, like travel agents, brides, but it's not necessarily influencer. Like we just want to send them kits. So if you're a travel company and you have 5,000 top performing travel agents, they want to send them kits. It's not necessarily influencer, but we're seeing a lot of that.
Anything in the fishing industry?
No, but I'll keep you posted.
Okay, well, I'll work on that one with you. I'd even call a few companies for you just to see what we could
you could do a fishing box.
A fishing box would be good. I mean, they have subscription fishing companies out there doing that stuff, but even all the subscription boxes, they get a little boring and dull, right? Because they just start to
we
get
did
stuff.
One with Tackle Fish Co., I think it was called, years ago. It was just starting out. But again, a subscription box is very different because it's consumer buying it as opposed to. So yeah.
But even then, it was just first. It just seems they come in so fast, anyways. Even if you're buying them, it's like, be good if they could do them every 2 months instead. Yeah. So where do you see BabbleBoxx going?
Just kind of doing what we do. We love what we do. We do it every day. We're very fortunate. Just growing, and it's not just the print. It's not just the boxes. We're seeing a ton in retail. We're doing a ton in retail media networks, which is a whole other world of stuff. We just keep introducing new solutions to support our customers.
Cool. How many people on the team?
We are between, it depends, 15 and 20. Some people are freelancers.
Wow, so that's a pretty good amount of people. And where do you fulfill everything? Do you do it at the print company? Do you do it at a warehouse?
No, we have our own little warehouse that's nearby, and sometimes there's space next door that we have to kind of go into, but we have our own.
Any reason that you don't use some of the companies that produce the boxes? Because a lot of print packaging companies provide fulfillment for real companies with.
Because it's so specific in the quantities. They're not going to do, because it's a media buy, you don't need 10,000 influencers. You need 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, maybe 200, 300. They're not going to do a campaign packing and shipping for 25 people.
Oh, there's a lot of companies that would. That's like
no, but this person needs this size shoe, but their box gets this hat, and it's just
absolutely.
I know, but it's just the numbers.
Right. It's just easier for you, I guess, with your own staff.
It's just easier. We have a team and we handle it. And we've spoken to those kinds of companies. It's just easier. We also have a lot of times, like what I'm saying with the printers that work best for us. Our clients will call us like, oh my God, can we add something to the box? Or for us to then go call. So yeah, maybe one day.
Yeah, I don't like those customers at the last minute who call after everything's been planned and laid out and then want to add something and think that their delivery date stays the same.
Or, oh, there's something on the box that shouldn't be there. What do we do? And we have to go figure out, how do we hide this thing on a box that's outdated that they didn't realize was printed and they gave it to us, but then they changed.
They didn't check the proof, and then it's your problem.
We're always fixing things, and if it's somewhere else, we can't fix it.
Yeah, no, printers are pretty much in the same boat. Last minute. We're not last minute. Everything that comes to us is last minute because everyone's doing everything else. Yeah. Wow, crazy. Very cool. You would be the first influencer person that works with influencers to be on the podcast. So you answered a lot, because I always wondered about influencers, because you only hear what you hear. You never really know the inside of what's going on. So it's pretty cool.
Fun world, and it's growing very fast.
Do you have any final words before I cut you?
No, I think this has been wonderful. Thanks for having me. I do think print is still top foremost of mine, and if it's not, it should be, especially boxes.
You can come back on anytime you want to talk about print packaging and promoting it. No, been awesome to have you. Thank you. For anyone listening, do not call BabbleBoxx to try to sell them. I'm doing that on my own, so I don't want any interference. You can come through me if you have something special. Anyways, you can do what you want. I'm just kidding. Sherri, thanks so much. It was great.
Thank you.
To all of the listeners, and I hope that there's thousands of you now. If there's not, just keep telling everybody so there is. I hope you got some value from listening to the conversation. As always, if you have any thoughts, let me know. If you want to be on, let me know. If you know someone who should be on, but you don't want to call them, you want me to call them, let me know. Otherwise, it's Warren Werbitt for Printing's Alive, and who loves print more than me? Probably no one. See you on the next one.